Thank God Nancy Pelosi's finally getting her pastel pantsuited ass into gear. But she is not crazy to be wary of impeachment. It's not the cure-all people seem to believe. Most of us have forgotten what we learned about impeachment in 7th grade civics, or possibly weren't paying attention in the first place because we were questioning how Ali Camillo's boobs grew 3 cup sizes over the summer, and also questioning our own sexuality. Do I want to have them, or do I want to be them? Oops, it's summer. So here's a little refresher. There are 3 important things to know about impeachment. 1, impeaching a president does not remove him from office. Much like the right to bring a flamethrower to the laundromat, the rules governing impeachment are enshrined in our Constitution. It stipulates that the House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment. And the standard for impeaching the president is not as narrow as you might think. The Constitution says the president shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. And as we mentioned earlier, high crimes and misdemeanors are not necessarily crimes. They're more like fireable offenses.
We're talking about high crimes and misdemeanors as defined by the Constitution. That's not a criminal matter. That's whatever the House of Representatives decides it is.
Basically, the Founding Fathers put the term high crimes and misdemeanors in as a catch-all for all the terrible, disqualifying things a president could do in the future that they wouldn't know about. Otherwise, they would have had to write out treason, bribery, or speaking into a magic box across the sea to withhold flying muskets from the Empress of Russia. LOL, that will never happen. And they were too drunk to get all that down. Theoretically, Pelosi and her merry band of indoor kids in the House could impeach Trump anytime simply by voting to approve articles of impeachment. But he would still be the president because, unfortunately, only the Senate can remove the impeached president. The Constitution says the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments, and unfortunately, the Senate is run by these guys.
This is, of course, a picture of former President Ronald Reagan naturally firing a machine gun while riding on the back of a dinosaur.
Do you like green eggs and ham? I do not like them, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham.
I asked the chair, you know what this is? It's a snowball. And that's just from outside here.
Who's the best golfer in those 3?
Trump's the best golfer. You're the best golfer.
The Senate will never expose Trump to real consequences. He owns them. They're more subservient than his own hair, especially when they're led by this fleshy Skeksis. So if you're excited about impeachment, fine. Just know that it won't get Trump out of office one day sooner. But there are still good reasons to impeach. For one thing, they get to do a big honkin' investigation. The House gets way more leverage to subpoena the hell out of the White House. What they find along the way won't convince the Senate that Trump needs to be out of office, but it might convince the American people. It's happened before. When the Watergate hearings began, only 19% of the public was for impeaching Nixon, but by the time he resigned, it was up to 57%. Support for Trump's impeachment is already at around 37%. Who knows how much his base might erode? By the time we're done hearing about all the terrible shit previous investigations couldn't uncover, it might even wind up being just Fox and Friend. And there's one more good reason to impeach Trump, because it's the right thing to do. Trump thinks he's above the law, and there's only one institution that can make sure he isn't. Unfortunately, it's Congress. So forget whether it's politically expedient, forget whether it's effective. It is time for Congress to impeach the president because he is truly, deeply asking for it. It is your job, guys. And you are the only ones who can do it. Look, I know it's hard for you soft little dandelion fluffs to take this much of a stand, but America is counting on you. If you don't, you will definitely sell Alabama to North Korea in exchange for Elizabeth Warren's email password.